This is going to be part 2 of this. You know what it is at this point. Just roll right into it, ladies and fellasmen. That's Siri X's intro. My name is, what is it? What do I usually say? Lads and ladies. That's what I usually say. Lads and ladies, peasants and pezzettes. Let's see. Okay, so you know what it is. This is 20 through 11. Number 20. We're bringing it back to the last Dragon Ball Z game on this list, Dragon Ball Z Infinite World. This is a very unknown game of the PS2. This is essentially Budokai 4. Everyone always talks about what if they made a Budokai 4 instead of Tenkaichi's, and this is just that. This is, I think, the best Dragon Ball game to date. I think this is objectively best. If you disagree, you're wrong. I'm just messing. Let me not get too low tier god on this, but Infinite World is my favorite for sure. I loved it a lot. I felt like it had, like, you know, the fun mini games. It had a good story, like a really fun story, I thought. Is it big and expansive like Budokai 3 or Tenkaichi 2? No, it's not, but it's still good. Like, I think Infinite World is again, I think it's the best, and I would definitely say it's my favorite. Dragon Ball Z Infinite World is missing a few things though, like some of the characters from Budokai 3, but one thing it got rid of that just elevates it so far above it: Dragon Rush. It's gone. It's finally gone. You don't lose 3 health bars to a stupid RNG based game. Oh, thank God. They got rid of that. It's immediately better than Budokai 3. No, will not be accepting questions at this time. Number 19 is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. This is the objectively best Kingdom Hearts game. There's nothing you can tell me that'll change my mind. The combat is better than KH3. That's about it. Really, like, okay, well, in terms of combat, that's it. The music is way better than KH3. The story is much better than KH3. The voice acting is leaps and bounds better than Kingdom Hearts 3. I will never forget, and for as long as I live, in the Remind DLC, when, like, they're talking, and Riku just turns around, but we've been looking everywhere for Sora, and we haven't found a single clue. Don't you think if he was out there, we would have found something by now? Like, it was like Dora the Explorer talking. I half expected him to look at the camera and ask, right, kids? Like, it was so annoying. It was so distracting. I can deal with, like, not great voice acting, but it can't be distracting. That was distractingly bad. KH2's voice acting is leaps and bounds better. Xemnas is just, the original Organization 13 is so much better than the true Organization. The villains are better. The only thing I think KH3 does better is, of course, visuals, and I think that boss design is better than KH3. I don't think there's any arguing that. I think boss design is much better, but in terms of the worlds, the music, the characters, the writing, the voice acting, everything is better in Kingdom Hearts 2. It is just so much better. Number 18, ironically enough, is God of War 2018. This was a game I was a little late to the party on. I didn't play this till almost 2 years after the game came out, and it was good. Like, you know, it was really, really good. The story was fantastic, although I thought that the excessive backtracking of the game really got on my nerves, and a few other things which we'll get to in a sec. But the game was good. The story was good, although it did feel a little padded in spots, which that comes down to, again, something that we'll talk about in a second. It's a good game with a solid soundtrack. Combat feels a little stiff, I'll say. People will usually praise this as being like, oh, this is such a fantastic balance of story and gameplay, and it is a good balance of story and gameplay. The problem is the combat is stiff. This is one stiff feeling game. I've been working on replaying this for the past, like, month off and on before Ragnarok. And because Ragnarok looks like it will literally be this game, but better. It looks like it will fix my issues with this game, but the combat is extremely stiff. There is literally no line. People will say, "Oh no, it's not. You're just not doing it." No, you're wrong. You are wrong. Okay, I'm not doing this wrong. I have switched weapons on the fly. I have done the Muspelheim challenges on Give Me a Challenge. No, I've not done it on Give Me God of War, because difficulty doesn't change mechanics in this. It just makes them really spongy. So I didn't do that. I'm doing it on Give Me a Challenge. And the game is just slow. It's just, not really slow, it's just stiff and a little janky. And my biggest issue with this game, and the biggest thing that I would think this issue alone knocks an entire like point or two off. This game is one of the most pitiful examples of enemy variety I think I've ever seen in a major video game. This is honestly sad. Like, you fight the same 4 enemies over the course of 40 hours, or around 30 to 40 hours, if you're doing like side stuff. You'll fight the same like 4 enemies and the same 2 bosses over and 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 over again. I don't know why they couldn't take the time out of their day to just make a couple different enemies. It's so bad. You fight, and like, it would help if like the 4 enemies you fight were at least good, but they're not. That's the problem. They're not great enemies. They're just generic. They're bland. The bosses are fun the first 2 or 3 times you fight them, until you fight them for like maybe the 15th time and you're like, okay, I get it. I understand. Just let me fight something different, please. Which again, Ragnarok seems to be fixing this. And there's times like where they get a little lazy, like the Dark Elf Captain, and it's like, oh, finally. I guess by this point, like, you haven't fought those bosses a billion times, but it's like, oh, new boss, and it's just like a beefier version of the normal Dark Elf enemy. Is the game great? Yeah, it is, but my god, this game's enemy variety, it needed like another 10 enemy types in the game. It was not it, man. It honestly makes the game boring to play, just because of that. Alright, now it's time to really, really anger the PlayStation fans. And I don't want to call them ponies, because I've always been a PlayStation fan, but it's time to really anger the ponies here. The game I like more than God of War 2018 next is Halo Reach. I had a 360 back in that generation. I had a PS3 and a 360, and Reach was the main thing I played. I played a bit of 2, a bit of 3, and I've played Reach more times than I can count. This is my favorite Halo game. This is one of my favorite games. I thought, yeah, the gunplay is typical Halo gunplay, whatever, you know, it's no more stiff than God of War is. But enemy variety was neat, weapon variety was really good. The story I thought was really, really solid. I loved it not being focused on Master Chief, because it really hammered home, like, yeah, this is what most Spartans have to deal with. We're not all Master Chief. We're not all gonna win. And there was nothing quite like the gut punch of at the very end, when you step out onto that barren wasteland and you have but a single word objective: survive. And you can give them hell as long as you want. I think I lasted like 30 to 40 minutes in it one time, and you just it gets you, you know. Like, Bungie could have given the choice to, like, could have made it where that was a cutscene, where Noble Six's last stand was a cutscene that just drags on for a bit, big cool epic fight scene. But no, they put it in your hands. I believe in canon it's like Noble Six fought the Covenant for nearly 24 hours before finally, like, getting tired and, like, getting wounded, and that was that, and they got him. But it was like, it was crazy. Like, it was, I'm rambling because of how much I really liked Halo Reach. Like, Halo Reach just hits so hard, and I could honestly probably move this up a spot or two, but my god, that game was so much fun. I loved Halo Reach. Number 16, this is a pure, I don't want to say nostalgia because it's not like the game is old, but like, this is a pure emotional pick. Number 16 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Game of the year 2018, by the way. This game, like, you know, Reach's ending was a gut punch for one reason. Chapter 6's ending in this is a gut punch for an entirely different one. Because, like, whereas with Reach, it's like, you know, you find at the last second, like, oh, I'm gonna have to stay, I'm gonna have to do this. Whereas in this, you find out with so much time left what's gonna happen. You know it's coming, and you're like, okay, this isn't gonna get me then. I know it's coming. You're wrong. You are wrong. There is nothing that's gonna get you quite like, may I stand unshaken, or that's the way it is. There's nothing that's gonna get you quite like it. You know, what happens to Arthur, it got me so bad, messed me up, maybe more than anything I've ever seen in any fiction ever. Like, there was no gut punch I felt that was quite like the end of Chapter 6. The gunplay is fun for what it is. The fist fighting in Red Dead 2 I found is actually really fun. You just never get to do it. The duels were really fun in Red Dead 2. They're just not too common. Red Dead 2 is just a really fun game. It's just fun cowboy simulator stuff, but it can get really, really, really boring. But the characters are all fantastic. The acting is all splendid. The story is great. The combat is fine. The world is big. It's beautiful. And it's got stuff to do in it. Red Dead 2 is just such a fantastic game. And now, pretty much a lot of the rest of this is going to be a lot of gameplay picks for me. Number 15 is XMen Origins Wolverine Uncaged Edition. This game is so much fun. There is no way Insomniac's Wolverine is better than this. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. This game is a gore-filled rocket ride full of nothing but the most fun action ever. It is so brutal. It is so savage. You feel unstoppable, just tearing your way through the enemies. It is so much fun. And like, taking a more character action game route for this was definitely the right call, because I have played the hardest game I've ever experienced. X2 Wolverine's Revenge. Those are old scars. That's probably the hardest game I've ever played. We're not talking. No, I must repress these memories. But XMen Origins Wolverine was so good. The combat was so much fun. It fixes the awful narrative. We have Hugh Jackman in this one, just playing Wolverine. So cool. I swear to God, it's so cool. We have flashback stuff. The bosses are fun. X-Men Origins Wolverine is just peak. It is peak, my friend. I love it. And the music is actually really good. The levels are really good. The puzzles are good. This game is just fantastic. Number 14 is going to be Outlast. This is like this is technically the only horror game on this list. This game is so much fun. I have speedrun Outlast before. And I say speedrun in air quotes. No glitch, doing everything, just running through the game normally. I love to just do it as fast as possible. And I think the fastest I got was like an hour and a half, which was really fun for me. But I absolutely love Outlast. Is it basic? Is it jump scare heavy? Yeah, it is, but I love it to death. I love the stupid, confusing lore behind it. I love all the pursuers in that. It's just everything in Outlast is so good. I think it's all just really well executed. Number 13 is a little short on that one. Number 13 is the aforementioned favorite Spider-Man game, SpiderMan: Web of Shadows. This is Devil May Cry Spider-Man. This game is so much fun, man. The web strike alone elevates this to my favorite. That mechanic is just so much fun. But I really love the darker take on the story. It's grittier. It's a little goofy in some ways, but it's a grittier story, and it's really good, I think. Combat was just fantabulous. So good. I love the allies. It lets some of the other Marvel characters, like Moon Knight and Wolverine and stuff, get appearances, and just really cool stuff. The voice work in this game is really solid, except for Spider-Man. He's not bad, but he's definitely a little grating. It's a good game. The soundtrack is okay. The only issue I really take with this game is, honestly, it is buggy as all hell. This is a buggy, janky game. I cannot lie. From just loading issues to music and sound effects just not playing for some reason. Just really weird issues with it, but I'm getting away from the mic. But just a really good game though, for sure. It's the second best Spider-Man game, I think. I think Ultimate's better, but I just love Web of Shadows. Number 12 is going to be Subnautica. This is the only survival game on this list, I believe. This is a game I followed from really early in its development. I followed this for one of the first Markiplier videos that he put out, and I followed this the entire way. I really loved Subnautica. I watched every single update, and then I finally got to play it on my PlayStation when it came out, and I adored it. I was so happy to finally get to play this game for myself, and I played it many times at this point. I love Subnautica. It's a gorgeous. It's a gorgeous alien world, and the narrative is actually good for one of these survival games. It never happens, but it's actually really good here. The narrative for Subnautica was so good. The soundtrack was spectacular. The creatures look so good. The sounds, Subnautica is just such a great. This is such a great game. This is the best survival game ever. If you disagree, I don't know what to tell you. If you disagree, then you probably haven't played Subnautica. We're not talking about Below Zero on this list, but Subnautica was really good. I love that a lot. Number 11, oh, this is a hot take right here. Do I say this? There's a lot of shame in this one. Number 11 is Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. Now I know this is scorching. This is a scalding hot take, but I love it. I played this a couple years, about a year and a half ago at this point. I played this for the first time, and I absolutely adored this game. I think it has one of the better combat systems in any JRPG, really. I think, of course, like 7 Remake has better combat, and 16 will definitely have better combat, but you know, the Lightning Returns combat is really, really good. I really love the schemata and everything, being able to customize your own builds with different stat buffs, change the colors, and everything. I love that the world is on a time limit, and the music for this game is really fantastic. Like, there's something really good about running across the top of the Dead Dunes, and Village and Void just starts playing, and it just hits, oh, so good. It hits the musical G spot is what it does. I really love Lightning Returns. The game looks fine too. Like, the only thing I wish it ran better, but like, it looks fine. Just a really good game. Like, listen, to anyone who tells you Lightning Returns is the worst Final Fantasy, they are wrong. This game is fun. This game is good, but you do need to play the first game and then watch the cutscenes of the second one. I recommend nobody to, under any circumstances, ever play Final Fantasy 13 too. That game is not worth it. That game is misery. I'm pretty sure I took a couple years off my lifespan on that game. I hate that game, man, real bad. But Lightning Returns is one of my favorites, my number 11 spot. Love this game a lot. I really wanted to get remastered onto PS5, but who knows what'll happen. But yeah, that's gonna do it for that one. That is part 2 of this video series. We're closing in on the end, recording this all in one night. I'm really liking getting to talk about some of these games that I've never talked about before, because I've definitely never talked about a lot of these. And my top 10, I'm like, oh, I have to talk about that one in that video. The number 10 spot is gonna turn a lot of heads, but yeah. Really enjoying this. I'm going to record that in the last one now. Maybe I'll have these out relatively common. But yeah, this video is dragging on a little bit, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Conrad, but I go by Ellism on YouTube, and that's going to do it. Y'all take it easy.